For today's video, I've decided to share with you some tips and some tricks on how I study for my weekly kanji tests and how I've been studying for kanji in general since I started learning Japanese. So without further ado, let's get on to the video. So the first step that I have to share with you guys is to just stick with one material. Don't overwhelm yourself because there's so many books out there that claim to teach kanji in the best way, and just sticking to one material can greatly decrease your chances of feeling overwhelmed. When I first entered Japanese language school, I used kanji through pictures, and I always wondered, like, is this the best kanji material? Can I maximize my learning of kanji with this book? And basically you can, just don't switch to another book. The way books teach kanji can vary greatly, so after you've decided on sticking to one series, just continue it all the way until N1 or N2 or wherever you feel like you'd want to end up. I think I would highly recommend Nihongo Somatome just because Nihongo Somatome has kanji for, I think, N4 until N1. It's very straightforward. It's less stressful, I think. So my next tip is that you shouldn't just focus on the singular kanji character, but you should also make time to focus on the word that kanji character sometimes forms with other kanji characters. I think that's the trickiest thing about kanji. It can stand on its own, but it can also stand with other characters, and sometimes the reading can change, so please be very aware of that, especially when you're learning people's names. Sometimes the reading is very different. It's nice to know one kanji character, but it's even more helpful to know the normal pairings that go with that kanji character. For example, I can show you guys one here. So this one is the character for man. By itself is otoko, but as you can see here, there are some words that it's normally paired with. So we have chonan, danse, otoko no hito. So because we've already decided to learn the pairings that the word comes with, we've already learned 3 new words. So it makes it more, it accelerates your learning, I think. Don't just learn the singular kanji character, learn the common pairings. And for Nihongo Somatome and other kanji books, it's already added, so you don't have to worry about that. But please don't neglect it because it could really hinder your progress. My biggest advice would be to learn a few kanji characters every day or learn a group at a time, because there are over 2,000 kanji characters that you have to learn to be able to read newspapers and official documents and stuff. And not just that, but there are so many other readings to those kanji characters as we previously discussed. So it's better to just take it day by day or chapter by chapter. I'll get into that later. But as you can see from this material from my language school, it's Chūkyū kara manabu Nihongo Dai Hachika. So this is the 8th chapter of that book, and these are the 19 kanji characters that I have to memorize and learn. And I think that makes it easier to digest rather than committing to memorizing all kanji characters in a day or in a week. Like, it's too much. It's honestly too much, and it can get, again, very overwhelming. So try to learn your kanji in batches. That way you won't feel rushed, especially when you're planning to take the JLPT or EJU or any other tests like that. So my next tip would be to write down all the kanji. Write it down, and not just the kanji, but also the reading in hiragana and the reading and the meaning in English. So let me just show you my my notes, or rather my study notes. As you can see, I color-coded my notes. The red is for the kanji and the blue is for the hiragana meaning. So I would do this multiple times. First, I learn how to write the kanji character, all of the kanji characters. Then I memorize the reading. And I do this about 3 or 4 times, especially before a big exam. But when I learn kanji for the first time, I write all of it down. So I write all the kanji characters first, then I write all the hiragana reading, and then I write English meaning in black. And it's a very tedious process, but I find that for me it's the most effective just because I like to write, and I feel like when I'm able to write it, it really commits it to my memory. So that's just how I learn. If you guys can do it just by looking at the character, good for you. I'm very jealous. But they sell these at bookstores in Japan, and I'm pretty sure at Daiso as well. So I go through these very easily. It's only about 30 or 40 pages. And yeah, I just write everything down. It's all about writing it down, I think. After you've generally memorized all the kanji, it's so easy to forget, trust me. I've already forgotten most of what this means. But what I do to remember is that I download an app like Anki or something like that. And on Anki, they already have pre-made kanji decks that you can just review while you're on the train, while you're on the toilet, while you're doing something and you're kind of idle at the time. It's very easy to just open the app and then just make sure that you remember all the new words, all the new characters that you've just learned. A lot of kanji is reviewing, especially for people who come from countries that don't use kanji, like countries that aren't China or maybe Korea. It can be kind of hard to just remember it naturally, so it's good to have a review app like maybe Quizlet, yeah, or Anki. I would highly suggest one of those. I've been slacking a little bit, which is why I've forgotten what some of these mean, but since I'm having a test again, I'm going to make my own deck on Anki and just go through it again. Last and second most important tip that I can give to you guys is to see the kanji in context in writing. So at first I was like, why is the kanji grouped like this? And then I found out later on, this is the first time it's happened to me, that this kanji, the kanji that appears here, appears in actual text. So you can see how people use it, and you can also learn the nuance of using this kanji. So this one is a long block of text where a lot of the kanji will come out. And I think it's great because learning kanji can definitely speed up your reading ability, and I'm not very good at reading kanji yet, so it really will help me in the future, especially when I take the JLPT. If you'd like to be able to read short novels or classics in Japanese in the future, learning kanji is essential, and what's more is learning kanji in context is the most essential, I think. Another way that I study kanji, or a bonus tip for you guys, is I watch movies entirely in Japanese with Japanese subtitles, and I actually watched the whole of Full Metal Alchemist again in Brotherhood in Japanese with Japanese subtitles, and because the words were so technical relating to alchemy and the military, I wasn't able to understand a lot, but I did learn a lot of new kanji. And because you just keep seeing it, you see the same kanji over and over again, like the kanji for gun, for military, or boku, because Edward talks about himself. And you can also review a little bit of katakana because they say like Eduardo. So it's really good to just watch a movie entirely in Japanese. Don't put so much pressure on yourself with understanding everything that like happens in the movie. It's okay as long as you can kind of recognize some kanji characters. It's a great way to familiarize yourself with new ones and review the old ones that you know of. Yeah, I hope that you can understand how I study kanji and how you can better integrate it into your own kanji study routine. If you have any tips as well, please do let me know, because I'm really bad at studying kanji. It's gotten to the point where I get really nervous in class when we have to read these really long essays and I don't know the character. I'm just like, oh my god, don't call me. But yeah, I have to get better at that, and yeah, it'll make life much easier. Not so related, but another thing that I noticed in Japan is that when you watch TV, you have an option to watch TV, like actual news with subtitles, and it really helps to reinforce the kanji that you're learning. So if you're living in Japan and going to Japanese language school, or you're just generally interested in learning more kanji, I would highly suggest watching Japanese TV with subtitles. I think that would really help. As well as reading books for children or manga for children if you're into manga. I recently bought a copy of Cardcaptor Sakura, but I haven't started it because I'm a little scared of the kanji inside, but I think I'll get over it eventually and start reading it. So those are my 6 tips on how to learn kanji. I hope that this helped you, and if you have any other tips and advice, please do let me know. I can't wait to hear from you. So thank you very, very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!